What's going on? It is Rich Brecklin, your Arizona real estate agent with Real Broker. Is the Gilbert, Arizona real estate market tanking? Well, we're going to get into that, take a deep dive into the data, see what that shows, where we've been, where we're going, because the numbers don't lie, but the media does. So be careful from where you are getting your information and how you are applying it to you and your family when you're making your decisions moving forward. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be comfortable with the decision you are making with as much information as humanly possible. And that way you are in a good spot and you are taken care of. And that is our goal here. And if you're new to the channel, welcome again. My name is Rich. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. But let's get into it. And that we're going to talk first about just the market in general. As you know, I love the Cromford report. So active listings, well, they don't show them on this, but when I'm looking at listings, again, just single family detached, we are down again in the mid 11,000s. So I couldn't believe we fell under 12,000 when we were at 17.5. But all of these trends, all the numbers are in a really good spot, showing that for those of you who thought we were going to bottom out, well, we're not. At least not right now. For those of you who bought when we did take a dip, smart move, good play. But a lot of these are because of the good rates we saw in January in that dip. And now we're seeing another direction of rates, which is not a good one. And they're increasing. And for how long will they increase at what speed? Because right now we are nearing 7%. I'm just going to call it we're at 7%. But getting to these numbers, what I like to see is pending listings up, listings under contract are up, sales per month are up, days on market, not good. But month supply down again from last month. Listing success up again from just a few days ago at 76.5%. That's a number I'm going to be tracking really closely, because with these higher rates, what that does. But if inventory continues to fall, sellers, you will still be in a good spot, and more on that. Again, this is our whole market, and I'm going to speed through this because we're going to jump into Gilbert and the Cromford Market Index. Again, 127. So technically we are in that seller's market. Anything above 100 is sellers, 100 balance, below is a buyer's. But up from last month, up from last quarter, way down from last year and 2 years ago. But we really don't even think about those. Those were crazy, unprecedented time. Now, listing contract ratio, we did dip below 30. We are above 60 now, which means officially by data, we are in a seller's market, despite what all the doom and gloom may tell you or what is coming. Just what we're in. Don't get emotional about it. Don't get attached to it. Just what the numbers say. We're in a seller's market here. Again, now sellers, don't get ahead of yourselves thinking it is, 18 months ago, we could slap a sign in the yard, so any price you want, and buyers will be coming, because that is not true either. And your home will be just another statistic that does not sell. So you still have to be smart about, what it is you're doing. Now, these are Gilbert's numbers. So the data we looked at before. Now, this is all listings for Gilbert. We're down from where we were last month, down from where we were last quarter. And again, last year and 2 years ago, I really don't want to look at those just because it was such a crazy time. And I think when people are thinking, oh, the market is tanking, it's crashing, what are you comparing it to? Because if you're comparing it to 18 months, 24 months ago, well, it's almost not fair to compare to that, because that was just insaneville. But look at where it was 3 years ago. And if you're a seller, a much better spot. Now, buyer, it's going to be much more expensive for you still. But one stat I like to look at, pending listings up from last month and last quarter, even though listing inventory is down. So that is good. That's where that contract ratio continues to rise. Listings under contract, again, 370, up from last month, up from last quarter, not quite from where we were last year and 2 years ago, but still close enough. And then sales per month, again, up. Down. Sales per year still down. Days on market, 94. Month supply, we have fallen from last month by, from 3.6 to 2.0. But the listings under contract, we're up 40% from where we were last month. Again, the following months are going to be very telling and interesting as rates continue to rise. Now, with rising rates, again, I'm not Nostradamus. I can't predict the future, but I don't see any signs of them pulling back down near the fives again like it was in January. Definitely not to where we're going to see in the threes with inflation and what is going on in the world. It just, there's no indication of rates dropping. So, keep that in your mind of how can you get a lower rate, and that's something I'm helping a lot of my clients do by negotiating for those seller concessions, even though quote unquote we are in a seller's market. And then we're looking here at active listings. You're listing per square foot 282 from last month. We're up last quarter, up a little bit, and down just a little bit from last year, but up from 2 years ago. And then listing success rate. Last month, we were at 58.6%, and now we're at 78.9%. Huge change from last quarter. Again, not to where we were a year or two ago, but with almost 80% of all listings selling. If you are a homeowner and live in Gilbert, Arizona, considering selling, if your home is priced right and you're not just trying to play the lottery essentially with your property, it will sell. As long if it's marketed right and priced right and presented right, your home will sell, and chances are you have a lot of equity that can help you with whatever it is you're going to do in the future with that home. Now, your average monthly sales price up just a few dollars, $671, and then it is up from last quarter, and it is also up from a year and 2 years ago. I'm sorry, that's annually. Monthly, though, we are down, which is a little surprising considering the rest of the market is up. But remember, we saw a lot of different things happening, and real estate is hyper local. And I don't mean by state, by market, but also by city and even a neighborhood. So your average monthly sales price is, where are we at here? 583, I'm sorry, down from 614 last month or last quarter, 615, but up from 2 years ago, which was 493. So if you have a home you've owned for at least 2 years, chances are you have a good amount of equity. If you bought a home in 2022, I would not advise you to sell it at this time unless you absolutely have to. And then we go down to contract ratio, again, 85.8. That is huge. Again, not quite to where we were before, but up from last month and definitely up from last quarter, where we really got into that buyer's market feeling in the fall, where rates really hit from where we weren't used to. We saw that change happening in May. And then the Cromford reports, the Cromford Supply, Demand, and Market Index. Really just going to talk about the Cromford Market Index, the CMI. Again, 100 is balanced over sellers. 137.7, and up from last month, up from last quarter, and the other, what happened then. So again, it's not a crazy seller's market. It's not a crazy buyer's market. Quote unquote, technically it is a seller's market, but again, what I like to call it, aggressive balance. So if you're looking to buy in Gilbert and sell in Gilbert, you're going to have some things to look at. If you're a buyer in Gilbert and you want the best possible deal that you can get for your home, for your family, then reach out, and then we can talk about the strategy, because it may vary from house to house, neighborhood to neighborhood, and things we're going to look at, so that make sure you're taken care of, and you can use some techniques in negotiating to get that rate down for you. But as the title of this video said, is the Gilbert, Arizona housing market tanking? And right now the data says no, it is not. So if you're looking to move here, do you wait? Well, then how long do you wait for? Because I know a lot of people who waited before while prices continued to go up, and then they continue to wait, and then interest rates go up. Now, most of my clients who are moving here are relocating here, watching this video just like you, and they don't care what the rates are. It is what it is. They are moving here. They need a home to buy. So let's say you do buy a home and it's 7%, and it is what it is. You can't change the rate. Well, if rates go up in 6 months, we'll be thankful. Like, wow, I'm glad that I bought at 7 because I definitely don't want to buy now when it's 9. And let's say rates do drop to 5 and you're at 7. Well, okay, great. I'll refinance. Now, with an asterisk there, I never like leading or having someone buy a home with the thought of and the plan like they are going to refinance their home, because that may never happen. And the last thing I need is or want is one of my clients to buy a home just anticipating and planning on a rate drop to refinance and be house poor and put themselves in a bad position. That is not a smart play. It is not something I want my clients to do. Obviously, I want you to buy a home that you love and that you can afford the monthly payment on. So don't buy a home thinking the rates are going to buy. And I know a lot of agents are saying that, oh, rates are going to drop, just plan on refinancing in 2 years. Well, what happens if that doesn't happen? And now that budget was for a lower rate. So buy a home that you can afford. And if you need to figure out what does my monthly payment look like on this, reach out, send me an email, and I'll get with my lender. We'll put together a plan, show you exactly what that payment looks like so you can see, is this something I can afford? And for those of you who are looking to move to Gilbert, reach out. I love when people like you call, text, email, send a carrier pigeon, and reach out so I can help them, just like I've helped other clients use, my background as a detective, interrogator, help get you the best deal humanly possible. So that way you can get yourself in a home in Gilbert, Arizona, just like we did. Now, if there's other areas you want me to cover, let me know. Any questions you have, disagreements with this video. If you think this market is tanking next week, I feel that's what everyone's saying. The crash, the crash, the crash. Well, if you say it, it's eventually going to be right. But right now, we're not seeing that. The data does not support that. So time will tell, but subscribe, keep watching. I appreciate you. It's Rich Brecklin, Real Broker. Watch this next video. You're going to love it, and I'll see you on the next one.